Out in College Park. Okay, evening everybody. We got a new time. I posted it up early today so everybody knows what time I'm coming on. So I hope that helped. Yes, there's big breaking news on Marjorie Taylor Greene last night. And I got a 10-minute video. I'll play that one first. That might be the last time we'll probably hear from her. So we'll play that one first. And I got a Nino one I want to play. Also, I don't normally play him, but important video. It's 20 minutes, so those are the first two I'll play. And Kay sent me a bunch of stuff. Those are fired. You must have been busy last night. Man, those protesting are going on big time. All the same states. Portland, Chicago, Carolinas. DC this afternoon was protesting again to impeach Trump. So yeah, I think Lucy was saying she has family she's visiting. Hopefully she'll be in. I know this week is going to be the holiday week, so I don't know how many will be coming in this week. Connection all okay, K? 5 by 5. Well, I'm winning 21-10. Okay, third quarter. This started the third quarter. We got the ball. So we're 1.5 away from the big game next week. Oh, Carol's on time. Maria's on time. All right. I guess maybe 6 o'clock might be a good time instead of 5, 4. Chemistry matters, and really the reason why is there's different body types. So we'll start right at mark time. We got a couple minutes here. And there's Lucy. So Patriot Princess has a 10-minute one also. Touchdown Michigan. It looks like they're going to hang on, I hope. Still a lot of time left. But I wonder anybody caught Patriot Princess 10-minute video. She has two of them out, 1:10, 1 2 minute. So we will play the Taylor video, and then people can mute. People can mute if they don't want to hear Dino. But it's an important video. I think Ann said she wanted to hear it too. Chris, yeah, I'm getting finishing up watching the Michigan game, hanging in there. Next week it will be a showdown. Hopefully Michigan can beat them. Next weekend it's at home, so they got to win tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and get logged into Telegram and get started here. Oh, stupid light. Darn it.
House of Representatives, which is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C., and just never fit in. Americans are used by the political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more. And the results are always the same. No matter which way the political pendulum swings, Republican or Democrat, nothing ever gets better for the common American man or woman. The debt goes higher. Corporate and global interests remain Washington's sweethearts. American jobs continue to be replaced, whether it's by illegal labor or legal labor by visas or just shipped overseas.
Yep.
Small businesses continue to be swallowed by big corporations. Americans' hard-earned tax dollars always fund foreign wars, foreign aid, and foreign interest. And the spending power of the dollar continues to decline. The average American family can no longer survive on a single breadwinner's income, as both parents have to work in order to simply survive. And today, many in my children's generation feel hopeless for their future and don't think they will ever realize the American dream. And that breaks my heart. I ran for Congress in 2020 and have fought every single day believing that Make America Great Again meant America first.
Oh, wow.
I have one of the most conservative voting records in Congress, defending the First Amendment, Second Amendment, unborn babies, because I believe God creates life at conception, and I love to fight for the little guy. Strong, safe borders, I have fought hard for that. I fought against COVID tyrannical insanity and mandated mass vaccinations. and I've never voted to fund foreign wars with your hard-earned tax dollars. However, with almost 1 year into our majority, the legislature has been mostly sidelined. We endured an 8-week shutdown, wrongly, resulting in the House not working for the entire time, and we are entering campaign season, which means all courage leaves and only safe campaign re-election mode is turned on in the House of Representatives. During the longest shutdown in our nation's history, I raged against my own speaker and my own party for refusing to proactively work diligently to pass a plan to save Americans' health care and protect Americans from outrageous, overpriced, and unaffordable health insurance policies. The House should have been in session working every day to fix this disaster. But instead, America was force-fed disgusting political drama once again from both sides of the aisle on television every single day. My bills, which reflect many of President Trump's executive orders, like calling for a new census counting Americans only to draw new districts, making English the official language of the U.S., making it a felony to medically trans a minor, and other bills like eliminating capital gains taxes on the sale of your primary home and eliminating H-1B visas. Just sit. They all sit collecting dust. That's how it is for most members of Congress bills. The Speaker never brings them to the floor for a vote. Many common Americans are no longer easily convinced by paid political propaganda spokespersons and consultants on TV and paid shills on social media, obediently serving with cult-like conviction to force others to swallow the political party talking points. Because they know how much credit card debt they have, they know how much their bills have gone up over the past 5 years. They actually do their own grocery shopping and know food costs too much. Their rent has increasingly gone up and up. They have been outbid by corporate asset managers too many times when they put in an offer to buy a house. They have been laid off after being forced to train their visa holding replacement. The college degree they were told to earn only left them in debt with no big 6-figure salary. They see more homeless people than ever on their own community streets. They can't afford health insurance or practically any insurance, and they just aren't stupid. These are the people I represent and love because that is who all of my family and friends are, common Americans. I've been blessed to represent the 14th District of Georgia for 5 years. The district is filled with some of the most wonderful, kind-hearted, God-fearing, patriotic, hardworking people you will ever meet. Good, regular, common Americans. I've worked hard to bring taxpayer dollars back home to help district needs. I impeached Biden's Secretary of Homeland after watching my constituents die as he facilitated dangerous open border invasion into America. And I led the effort to defund hard left politically biased NPR and PBS and the corrupt USAID, and I did that as chair of the DOJ subcommittee. I have fought harder than almost any other elected Republican to elect Donald Trump and Republicans to power. I traveled the country for years. I spent millions of my own money. I missed precious time with my family that I can never get back. And I showed up in places like outside the New York courthouse in Collect Pond Park against a raging leftist mob as Trump faced Democrat lawfare. Meanwhile, most of the establishment Republicans who secretly hate him and who stabbed him in the back and never defended him against anything have all been welcomed in right after the election. And I will never forget the day I had to leave my mother's side as my father had brain surgery to remove cancerous tumors in order to fly to Washington, D.C. to defend President Trump and vote no against the Democrats' second impeachment in 2021. My poor father and my poor mother, it was way too much for all of us.
Big news here, huh, Karen?
Through it all, I never changed or went back on my campaign promises and only disagreed in a few areas, like my stance against H-1Bs replacing American jobs, AI state moratoriums, debt for life 50-year mortgage scams, standing strongly against all involvement in foreign wars, and demanding the release of the Epstein files. Other than that, my voting record has been solidly with my party and the president. Loyalty should be a two-way street, and we should be able to vote our conscience and represent our district's interests because our job title is literally representative. America first should mean America first and
Yep.
only Americans first.
He's right about
with
that.
no other foreign country ever being attached to America first in our halls of government. Standing up for American women who were raped at 14 years old, trafficked and used by rich, powerful men should not result in me being called a traitor and threatened by the President of the United States, whom I fought for. However, while yes, hurtful, my heart remains filled with joy, my life is filled with happiness, and my true convictions remain unchanged because my self-worth is not defined by a man, but instead by God, who created everything in existence. You see, I have never valued power, titles, or attention in spite of all the wrong assumptions about me. I do not cling to those things because they are meaningless and empty traps that hold too many people in Washington. I believe in term limits and do not think Congress should be a lifelong career or an assisted living facility. My only goal and desire has ever been to hold the Republican Party accountable for the promises it makes to the American people and put America first. And I have fought against Democrats' damaging policies like the Green New Deal, wide open, deadly, unsafe border policies, and the trans agenda on children and against women. With that has brought years of nonstop, never-ending personal attacks, death threats, lawfare, ridiculous slander, and lies about me that most people could never withstand even for a single day. It has been unfair and wrong, not only to me, but especially to my family, but it's been wrong to my district as well. I have too much self-respect and dignity. I love my family way too much, and I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms, and in turn be expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me. It's all so absurd and completely unserious. I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better. If I am cast aside by the president and the MAGA political machine and replaced by neocons, big pharma, big tech, military-industrial war complex, foreign leaders, and the elite donor class that can never, ever relate to real Americans, then many common Americans have been cast aside and replaced as well. There is no plan to save the world or a 4D chess game being played. When common American people realize and understand that the political industrial complex of both parties is ripping this country apart, that not one elected leader like me is able to stop Washington's machine from gradually destroying our country. And instead, the reality is that they, common Americans, the people, possess the real power over Washington, then I'll be here by their side to rebuild it. Until then, I'm going back to the people that I love, to live my life to the fullest as I always have. And I look forward to a new path ahead. I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026. And I look forward to seeing many of you again sometime in the future. May God bless you all, and may God bless America.
Okay, that was the big news I got from Michelle last night. I'm going to play a 5-minute clip from another shooting that happened in Carolina, I think, last night. And then we'll do the Nino video. Bunch of other stuff, too, coming up. A lot more to come.
That's according to officials there. 3 people were told were in critical condition and 1 in stable condition following the shooting. And this location is about 19 miles northeast of Charlotte, according to a statement from the city. It wasn't immediately clear what led up to that shooting, and police say they are reviewing video footage of the event and speaking with witnesses. They've asked anyone with videos or photos to share them with police right away. Videos and photos posted online do show crowds of people fleeing along with a street lined with emergency vehicles. The event was advertised as the city's 28th annual tree lighting ceremony and was expected to feature Santa and Mrs. Claus, food trucks, the film The Grinch, and fireworks. Quote, "We are praying for the safety of our brave law enforcement officers, first responders, and everyone on the scene." That is Representative Mark Harris of North Carolina, who posted that on social media. We are also hearing from witnesses courtesy WJZY.
All of a sudden, there were 3 pops. And in my mind, I'm like, well, fireworks don't start until later. And then I saw like just a sea of people running. And I'm like, no.
This has never happened before. So it definitely was a big
And
surprise.
to
And it's
see
unfortunate.
kids.
It's unfortunate because there were so many kids right there. Like we were standing right there.
Mhm.
We heard the pops, and there was a kid laying in the street, bloody. And it's not. I'm not worried about myself. I'm just worried about the kids that had to see that.
And of course, this is a developing situation, so very limited information. Again, 3 people believed to be listed in critical condition, another person shot as well. We are working to get an update here from officials. But for the first time here, I do want to play this very brief statement that was made by police as all of this was developing. It's only about 2 minutes in length, but they kind of go over what we know so far and what is still left to figure out.
Our annual tree lighting event is one of our most cherished and celebrated events in downtown Concord. That sense of safety was shattered tonight by senseless gunfire. First and foremost, our thoughts are with those injured, their families, and those who witnessed the senseless act. No one should have to go through an experience like this. So here's what I can tell you at this time. The Concord Police Department is actively investigating the shooting that occurred at around 7:30 p.m. on Union Street near the intersection of Corbin Avenue. The shooting occurred during the city's annual tree lighting ceremony. The Concord Police Department, Concord Fire, Cabarrus County EMS personnel were already at the event, and they responded immediately. They provided medical and evacuated the attendees. 4 gunshot wound victims were transported to the hospital. There are 3 in critical condition and 1 who is in stable condition. Police are reviewing the footage from the event, speaking with multiple witnesses at this time. Anyone with information is asked to call the Concord Police Department at 704-920-5027. And anyone with video or photos from the event are asked to share them with the police department using the link that we provided them. It's Patrick, Patrick, Tierney, Tierney.
Okay, we will now go to the one video of Nino. It's 18 minutes. Might be an interesting video. Ann was telling me. I gotta find them. Darn it, where I got them? Somewhere. Uh-oh. Ah. There, I'm back. I was a blackout there for a minute.
condemning Delegate Stacy.
I gotta find it. I'll get it. Where is it? Okay, I found it. Ken, I got a three-parter for you after this. It's the mayor.
National emergency? Well, according to Juan, this looks like what's coming. I'm also with Tracy Halverson, who's launched a grassroots effort in Utah against the governor. Folks, this is going to be one hell of a podcast, and I can guarantee you that there's a lot going on here. Juan, thank you for joining me.
Hey, everybody understand, and Trump himself expressed this in a news conference about the Ukrainian stuff the other day, just 2 days ago, and said that he was preparing to sign an executive order concerning elections. But let me give you the rest of the
Yeah, I don't hear
put that in.
Nino very much, but
Right now we have aircraft prepping right this minute for some type of imminent action in Venezuela. The Justice Department put out a $50 million bounty to take custody of President Maduro, who's there in office illegitimately because of their system is designed to put people in office. I'm trying to be careful of my words.
You're doing a good job. You're actually doing great.
And so all the things that you hear me talking about on the back channel, but those same systems were used here to a nation state level attack on the American election system. And we have all sorts of evidence, including the people that were involved in it here in U.S. protective custody. And the nations involved, it's not just Venezuela, it's Cuba, who really was running Venezuela for a very long time. And then you have Iran that was directly involved, aircraft flying back and forth from Iran daily to Venezuela with the mischief that they were doing and stuff into Central and South America. And then you have Serbia, where the actual servers were located that were used to send the data back and forth and build there. You saw just the last few days that there is a second legal review being looking at prosecution of John Brennan. Well, in part, it's because he owns half of that building with the wealthiest man in Serbia that was the base or the site where the servers were located that were used into elections around the world, not just America. And by the way, just a quick note, I've mentioned it in the past, but people probably forgot. The country that was used for the test when they moved those systems from Venezuela to Serbia was South Africa.
Wow, and you've been spending a lot of time over there
right now.
Ever wondered what happens when legs like these almost suddenly become like this? Cases like this are practically textbook examples.
Wow, and you've been spending a lot of time over there
right now. What's happening right now is the Justice Department is preparing to do a criminal indictment of the president, Ramaphosa. Remember the guy that was in the White House and Trump pantsed him right there in front of the world with the videos of the farmers and the funeral government was attacking, essentially authorizing and promoting attacks on whites. Right. That president, Ramaphosa, is about to have an indictment on him, similar to Maduro. And so we'd like to get Maduro out of the way before we go deal with South Africa. And there's all sorts of issues in Africa that tie into the billionaires behind his presidency and their mischief all across Africa, including up into the Congo, where there's all these deaths, and the refugees into Uganda, where I've also done some broadcasts with you from. So with that background, the president's going to, there's action going to take place in Venezuela. which is the
How close are we from the action taking place in Venezuela? Like how many
origins.
hours?
You know that. Look, let's not let them do it in their timing, okay? And there's certain other people that have given away timing, and it was not appropriate. But in the generics, everybody knows it's coming, and we have materials that have been pre-staged around Venezuela in nearby friendly countries that is just
I'll
about
send you my
complete
link
now.
for today.
So that will probably happen fairly shortly. And then as that happens as a backdrop where the country is aware of the reason we're doing this is because he isn't in office legitimately, and many other countries were affected by this. Other countries, nation state level attacks were done on election systems all around the world. So President Trump is going to declare a national emergency is our understanding at this point in time, which then, by the way, just for context, before we get to Tracy, I just want people to understand how big this is. When people inside of Justice Department, for example, blocked the release of Tina Peters, where we had a pretty good arrangement there a couple of times to lawfully remove her from the Colorado court. Because of states' rights and authorities, and because this was a state and county case there in Colorado, from the federal side, there's certain obstructions. Remember, Trump said 3 times, release Tina Peters, get her out of jail. Okay, well, the interesting thing is if you declare a national emergency related to elections, a national emergency.
Yep, Chris.
Within that national emergency,
I know everybody's tired
Trump
of it.
becomes essentially, you want to know kings? Okay, well, you're going to get a king.
You're going to
called
get
a
it now.
commander-in-chief. In that context, he can do literally just about anything. No federal court can stop him. And he can order within the election crisis emergency, national emergency, Tina Peters to be picked up and taken out of jail immediately.
Wow.
They wanted trouble. Trouble is about to come their way because she will not be in their care and custody anymore in
let
that
me ask you this.
So I believe. Yep.
How many days, weeks away are we from this being signed, him declaring a national emergency, signing this executive order? Do you have any idea?
Well, let's use President Trump's own words, so I don't have to, say anything out of order. President Trump said during a news conference the other day where it was being talked about Ukraine, somebody raised the issue of elections in Venezuela and things like that, and Venezuela and things like that. And Trump gave a detailed response and said that he was preparing to sign an executive order. He didn't say anything about national emergency, although that's in that context. He was preparing to sign an executive order concerning a hand count paper ballot, and that the country was going to have to go to a hand count paper ballot. Now, he said that. Right. And there was other details he said that let everybody know there's a executive order. We're close, because I've talked with your listeners, that a team that put together back in January prepared a proposed version of the executive order, because the prior one that I'd seen was not adequate to the task, I thought, and we could help with that. So we put together a proposed 17-page proposed executive order concerning hand count paper ballots and all the details that were needed from people that are experts in writing these types of documents. And that's many months. Version is, as President said, followed by attorneys. There's certain details in it that are different. Now, I will tell you this. The way that we wrote the executive order proposal was with federal authority within the limits of federal authority concerning elections. So you can only mandate, if you will, through the federal offices. However, Everybody listen close. This is where it's going to get really, really interesting. If President Trump first, okay, I'm sorry, it's just so frustrating. It just burns me up. Okay, if President Trump first signs into being and takes control, like king, if you will. Okay, you don't want no kings, well, you got a king, but he's called a commander in chief in the West. Over in the European countries, they might have a king. We have a commander in chief. That means he takes total control of everything as commander in chief. So when he does that, he now has authority down through the state, county, and municipal level. And no state can oppose him for anything. So if he says, go grab Tina Peters within the national emergency, he can do whatever he wants.
Wow.
And there's no judge, there's no court, there's no federal anything. They can file stuff till they're blue in the face. It's a national emergency. And by the way, where's the support within the public? See, the public has to be along for this.
8 minutes.
And the public will be along for this because, first of all, we're going to have large national discussions about what is going on in Venezuela and why this military action in Venezuela. And then the other countries involved and the national security side, where even American citizens and agency heads, such as Brennan, were involved in throwing up here in America actively.
All right, let's get into
okay. Well, okay.
Let's get into that on the back channel.
Okay, well, you can cut that out, but then let me finish right here.
You want this up tonight, right?
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, you got to cut that out. So then the third thing is the executive order, and he can then do the executive order within the context of a national emergency, all the way down to the way that states, counties, and cities run their elections. He is not restricted. The executive order, as we wrote it, was only within federal limitations. But if you're going to have a national emergency first, then he can order voter registration.
So first
to meet certain guidelines, order them.
First would be the national emergency.
You got to understand, he's going to do. First would be the national emergency, and the context is what's going on in Venezuela, because there was nation state level stuff there affected us here, and the countries involved there, and the intelligence agencies, their involvement. He does national emergency in the context of a national emergency. He can then issue an executive order concerning elections, and we take control. He takes control of the election process.
Okay.
Level.
All right. Let me bring Tracy in.
No court can stop him. No court can stop him.
Okay, so no more lawfare.
Lawfare. That's a key component in the context of this. And then briefly, and we'll cover this more on back.
eToro presents how to invest in stocks in 30 seconds. Just open the app.
We'll cover this more on back.
Juan, you're breaking up really bad. Let me get to Tracy. Tracy, let me just break to Tracy for a second. Juan, you're breaking up really bad. Tracy, what are you doing? What grassroots?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Tracy, what grassroots movement are you doing there in Utah right now?
We have challenged our governor and our election system too. If you want to pull up utahcorruption.com, that is where you can find out more. And it's a class action, and it can be for everybody, because our elections impact the entire nation, because it actually took a Senate seat, and we don't have a representative form of government. But you can join here. There's already 797 that have joined, and then just share and ask anybody in the United States can join, because it's impacting everybody.
Anybody and everybody in the United States can join, as long as you're a U.S. citizen.
Yeah. And if you scroll down, you'll find the complaint. If you keep going, we can go back over that later, but there's a complaint right there that you can read, and it describes what happened in our election.
Okay.
In Utah, we have unique way, I guess, of nominating. It's a more representative form of government, which that's what everybody wants, and it's always under attack. But it's the state delegates the primary convention to political parties. So at first you have your caucus night where your neighbors go and elect a delegate. And then you have, once you're elected, either a county delegate or a state delegate, you go to the convention, but you vet all of the candidates, and you go to the convention. And if a candidate receives 60% or more, they are nominated to the general ballot. That means they won it. If nobody reaches 60% or more, the top two candidates are nominated to another final primary ballot. And that's in Utah, the Republican Party is a closed primary. So just only Republicans would vote in that final ballot with the last two of that were nominated to it. But our lieutenant governor usurped her authority and put the disqualified candidates on another ballot and forced a second chance at nomination.
Wow.
Yeah. And so this case talks about how they knew what they were doing. And once they did that final primary, for example, Phil Lyman got 60% over at the convention. So did Trent Staggs. So Trent Staggs would have been our Senate.
Wow.
Because he's the one that actually won. He got almost 70%, and he was Trump endorsed. And our governor would have been probably it was Phil Lyman, because we're a very Republican state. Like almost everybody votes Republican here.
Right.
But they are very dependent on the delegates to vet them. So they think, oh, well, those are the nominees. But Spencer said, if I gather signatures, and if I get 28,000 signatures, I get a second chance. And it's like they're over their own elections.
Right. Like he's making up the rules as he goes, or what?
Well, he's made it up since 2016 is what I've learned.
Wow. Okay. So
well,
let's talk. Let's
back down, but let me just add this one quick thing, Nino, and that is the core is that this lawsuit would take out a sitting governor, the lieutenant governor, who actually is the core of the whole crime family in the way that she conducts herself, and then a senator. That's how it would work. And so, but the unique thing is that every citizen in the country can be on this lawsuit.
Wow.
And if when she breaks a cookie and Damari, so
less than a minute left.
Everybody agrees.
I hope this.
All right, so
okay
it's
a very important law because it's a chance to get this to the right place.
Let me show the site one more time so people know where to go, folks. This is where you go right here to get involved. And voila, there it is. Stop the corruption. All right, so let's go back to the back channel, talk about this more with Juan and Tracy. We'll go into the real finite details and all of this and the national emergency, the executive order, the whole thing. We're going to cover it more extensively on ninoscorner.tv, folks. All right, guys, I'll see you right over there.
Okay. I was telling Ann about that. Now we'll get to the short videos. Thanks, Carol.
Morning. Thank you all for being here. Last night, just hours after more than 20,000 people came downtown to enjoy our annual tree lighting ceremony, there were two serious shooting incidents. At around 10 p.m., 7 victims were shot at 164 North State Street.
That's the loudest I can get it. Can you hear it, guys?
There was another shooting at 140 South Dearborn, where there were 2 additional victims. One of those victims, a 14-year-old, sustained multiple gunshot wounds and died. There were 5 guns that were recovered. No parent certainly wants to get that terrible life-altering call. It is senseless violence like these shootings that makes us all feel unsafe. And it has left too many families in Chicago reeling. Incidents like last night set us back as a city, and it evokes fear. Our young people have to understand that they should not attend these unauthorized events that have been advertised on social media. They are extremely dangerous due to the number of individuals that may be carrying weapons, especially semi-automatic weapons. And as much progress as we have made, there are still far too many guns on our streets. And for these young people who have engaged in these incidents, you have put yourselves and your friends at risk. Because of the reckless behavior of a few individuals, we have families devastated, and our downtown residents are hesitant to leave their own homes. I'm the first person to recognize that we have more work to do in this city to provide safe spaces for our young people. But these types of violent gatherings can never be an alternative, nor can they be normalized. We need parents, guardians, and other responsible adults to do their best to accompany young people when they attend large community events like the Christmas tree lighting event. And we need to
Did you hear that
deter them
yet,
from attending large, unsanctioned after gatherings where weapons are likely to be present. There's always more we as adults can do to make sure that we know where our kids are and what they are doing. I recognize this feels like emotional whiplash. After this incredible celebration last night where thousands of people gathered, Chicagoans who were enjoying our tree lighting ceremony, thousands of Chicagoans came to express their love for our city. It was peaceful. It was a joyous evening, a vision of the best of Chicago. The holiday season is a time when we come together as a city. It's when we spend time with our families and our loved ones. This is.
Okay, that was part one. I got part two.
We have too many guns and too many young people who don't value their own lives or the lives of others. And when we have a setback like this, it just reminds us of the long road that we have to build the city that we all want to live in. We will continue to pray for the victims and their families. We will continue to pray for our city. This is an ongoing investigation and will provide updates as we have them. With that, I'll take some questions.
Mayor, news of this. Mayor, word of this gathering was circulated on social media for a couple days ahead of it actually taking place. What was the city's plan to proactively meet that ahead of the gathering itself? This was on TikTok, and it was circulating. People were telling folks to avoid downtown because there was a team takeover planned.
Yeah, so we have been monitoring social media and this gathering for a couple of days. And so working with the Chicago Police Department and the Chicago Public Schools, there was a communication that was delivered to CPS to encourage young people not to participate in these unauthorized gatherings. We had 700 additional officers on top of the 1st Police District present. We had CVI workers that were out there as well. But clearly, what we put in place did not do enough to prevent what we were concerned about from actually manifesting. We will continue to make the necessary adjustments as we move along to ensure that these large, peaceful, citywide events can take place without the terror and the harm of gun violence.
What concerns do you have with the Magma Lights Festival tonight and the concerns that this may spur with other folks not becoming comfortable or becoming now uncomfortable coming downtown? Because my feel is that people had kind of gotten comfortable again coming downtown. They weren't worried about some of these teen takeovers. What are your concerns, and what are you putting in place to try to address any potential issues that may occur tonight?
Yeah. Well, whether it's our lights festival, our tree lighting, or any other event, we're always preparing to ensure that we protect people. And, you know, I was at the tree lighting last night. It was an incredible event, a joyous event. And it is, quite frankly, frustrating and quite upsetting when this type of violence takes place, because it does engender and evoke fear.
And one more part.
So we will have a strong police presence.
I got cue videos.
We'll have stronger control over how traffic flows, because there was so much energy, the type of behavior that anybody wants to see.
And that was part 2. Part 3.
Right, and so we'll make those adjustments with more officers in place that have far more nimbleness to get around the traffic, because again, that was one of the challenges as these gatherings took place and as they begin to metastasize. It was very difficult for law enforcement to move. So we'll make that adjustment. There will be community violence intervention workers there as well. And I want to continue to compel all adults who have responsibility for children. You have to know where they are, because these handful of bad actors have caused disruption for a city that clearly has rebounded. Right. We have more activity downtown. We have more activity throughout our communities, because our communities have been becoming safer. If this is a setback, it's something that, of course, that I am absolutely frustrated and, quite frankly, I'm angry about how this incident has caused the type of disruption and fear. But we have put some additional measures in place to ensure that people can enjoy the lights coming alive downtown as we transition into the holiday season.
Do you know if the shooting on Dearborn and the shooting on State, were they related? Were they both part of the teen takeover?
So at this point, our police department, is investigating. We don't necessarily have evidence to suggest that. What we do know is that both of these incidents have created a great deal of fear in our city, and I understand that as a father, as a husband, that there are so many families that are coming back to the city of Chicago to hang out, looking forward to the holiday season. So we're clearly in the midst of investigation. We're going to get to the bottom of it. There were 18 arrests that were made last night. Our police officers, our first responders did a really solid job showing up as quickly as they possibly could. But I just want the people of Chicago to know that our police department, my administration, we're going to continue to go through this investigation process, and the people who need to be held accountable, we're going to work hard to make sure that that actually becomes the reality, because we don't want any setbacks as it relates to the progress that we're making as a city. Thank you all very much.
Mayor, one more question. There's been a lot of talk from the feds about crime in Chicago, particularly over the last week after the attack on the Moonlight. It seems likely that they may see this news and they may start trying to put Chicago back in the national spotlight, as they were doing earlier this week.
Well, we're always in the national spotlight, and it was also the federal government that took claim for the progress that we're making, right? So of course they're going to continue to try to take credit for our positive work. Here's the bottom line, that our law enforcement has done a solid job working with all of our partners to bring violence down in the city of Chicago. We'll make the adjustments as we continue to build the safest, most affordable big city in America. Thank you.
Cool. And then there was one more thing about.
Hey, Karen, I got 3 there from Chicago for you. I think you got a second one out. Hey.
And some hard things today. So excited to come to you guys with this one, because this one hits home. This one hits home because I lived under this tyranny for so long, and Donald Trump has said, I'm done, I'm putting an end to it, and it's over. And I love it. I love it, because it means we are, winning. So Donald Trump last night tweeted, he said he is immediately revoking the TPS of the Somali people in the United States. Now, I know that sounds absolutely terrible. The TPS, temporary protection status of these folks. Guys, this is the deal. In Minnesota especially, the majority of these folks receiving this status are in the state of Minnesota. Part of the reason I left the state of Minnesota was because of this right here. Now, I'm from Texas originally, Minnesota, going up there for work, lived up there for 13 years before finally deciding to get out of little Mogadishu, as we call it, and moving down to East Tennessee. Now, the interesting part about it is that Donald Trump is not, this has nothing to do with the race of Somali people. But let me say this. I am down for anyone coming to the nation to add to the nation. If you have something to contribute to the United States, then by all means, come in legally and live as an American. But if you decide that you want to come to the United States of America and you don't want to learn our language, you don't want to raise your children as Americans, you don't want to assimilate, but you want to take from America, then go home. You cannot come to this country and then decide that you want to turn here into there. If there was so great, then why did you come here? I don't care if you're Somali, if you're Hispanic, if you are any other type of African, I don't care. If you come here to be an American, raise your family as an American. If you do not want to do so, then don't come. That's as simple as I can possibly put it. I know people are afraid to say that. I don't care. I'm saying it. And I'm so thankful that Donald Trump has said enough is enough. If you ever go to Minnesota and you see this, you will see a large group of people who are unemployed, who are drawing off the system, who are taking billions and billions of dollars from the system and sending a majority of that money back to Somalia. During my 13 years there, I saw people cheat the government out of daycare money, saying that they were running large daycares and they weren't, saying they were treating are feeding thousands of Somali children and claiming millions and millions of dollars, and they weren't running an autistic foundation for Somali children, and they weren't. I mean, I'm talking billions and billions of dollars, on top of the fact that there's been many people who were found to be ISIS sympathizers in the state of Minnesota. And they have been protected largely by this conglomerate of other Somalis. You arrest a Somali, and by the time you get to the precinct with them, their lawyers are already there, to the point to where many officers are afraid to even arrest a Somali because of the network that they have to protect criminals and protect their own. And enough is enough. Donald Trump said, listen, you're not getting protective, sir. You're not getting protection here anymore. You're not getting protected status. You break our law, you leave. Period. Point blank, end of discussion. You don't have a right to be here anymore. If you want to be in Somalia, then be in Somalia. And I love it. People are going to call him all sorts of racist and all these things, but Ilhan Omar's reign is over. It's over. And the fact that she had so many of these people in the middle of her district, she cannot win an election without them. And I absolutely love it. Huge win. Thank you, President Trump. I love it. I love America. I'll see you guys next time. Be blessed.
Okay, that's number one. I got a second video.
Accomplishments of Donald Trump during his first administration was bringing in not one, but 3 new young Supreme Court justices. We've seen a court that has been really and truly overhauled. And I'm so incredibly thankful that we've seen that court act more and more constitutionally. And I hate that it comes down to them to save our country as often as it does. But more times than not, they've made the right decision. Well, yesterday they made another right decision. So I've been the victim, which you'll hardly ever hear me say that, of living in a blue state that was blue only because there were a few cities in Minnesota that actually were blue. The rest of the state was incredibly red and incredibly conservative. But year after year, we had to watch our state and all of our property taxes and taxes be used to fund some of the most left-winged ideologies you've ever seen. For whatever reason, Minnesota wants to be California without the good weather. And so it was so frustrating to watch that. And now I'm excited to see Trump actually looking to put Minnesota in its place. And I'll get into that in another video later on today. So be looking for it. But I'm excited to see that the Supreme Court has come down on the side of Texas. And if you remember, if you've seen, Texas has redrawn its congressional maps, which is expected to bring in about 5 new red seats into the House in the next election. Now, other people in the lower courts have said it's unconstitutional, that they were drawing the maps on a racial basis, which I find incredibly angering that they would use that as a means by which to overturn the decision. Because by saying that, you're saying that, oh, well, the Hispanics would vote for the Democrats, or the blacks would vote for us because they're black or they're Hispanic. You don't know that. First and foremost, I think it's appalling that you're going to assume that based on someone's skin color that they're going to vote for you, even if your ideologies are absolutely terrible. And we've seen often lately that many people who were traditionally Democrat have decided they're going to vote for substance over the party. And I love it. I'm here for it. But the other side of that is the state has a right to redraw its congressional maps. That is one of the primary benefits of having sovereignty as a state. But now, in addition to that, Texas is overwhelmingly a red state, and a red state seeking to ensure that the majority of its citizens are heard, as opposed to certain citizens in larger demographics like Houston, like Austin, like Dallas, that they're getting an unfair advantage over the rest of the state because of how populated they are. I think that the overall majority of the state being conservative, they should have more representation. And if you disagree, I would love to hear from you. But I believe, especially in a red state, that if you are going to represent the residents of that state, if you're going to represent the constituents of that state, then I don't believe you should give more voice to the more liberal epicenters of the large cities. But I could be wrong. But the Supreme Court has now said that it is completely constitutional. They are striking down that lower court. And so we got a huge win by the Supreme Court in that. We are now still moving forward in the state of Texas to bring more conservative voices
to 8 o'clock,
Congress,
guys,
which we desperately need. Let me know what you guys think here. I'll see you guys next time.
We got 2 in. We got Biddy coming up next.
Is Candace Owens, that she is about to be assassinated by an international mercenary group of Israelis and French special agents that will be dispatched by the nation of France, the First Family of France, to kill her. Now, whatever you think about that statement, one, it has been seen by 7.7 million people right now. It is the most viral post on the internet. Two, I just witnessed one of my best friends get shot on a live stream. We all witnessed it. We all witnessed President Trump get shot in the head on a live MAGA movement, get killed. And so I am not going to discount out of hand any claims like this. Now is the time to claims seriously. People have been arrested. Multiple people have been arrested, threatening my life and my family. So I take these things seriously. Let's read and listen to Candace, what she has to say here, and then we will assess. Urgent, says Candace with a siren. 2 days ago, I was contacted by high-ranking employees of the French government. After determining this position and proximity to the French couple, this French couple meaning the First Lady and President of France, Brigitte Macron and Emmanuel Macron, who Candace alleges Brigitte Macron is a man. They are suing Candace Owens for defamation in a lawsuit that is 279 pages long. Many experts say that it will withstand the motion to dismiss. And so it sounds like we have an actual lawsuit on our hands. First time I have ever heard of such a thing. Foreign head of state suing a YouTuber, podcaster in America. But nonetheless, it seems like that is going to move forward. If Candace survives, according to her, she may not. Let's continue to read. Again, we take this with complete and total seriousness. I have deemed this information that they gave to me to be credible enough to share with the public something in case something happens. In short, this person claims that the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. Yes, you have read that correctly. More specifically, that the green light was given to a small team of a national gendarmerie intervention group. Okay, so this is like a French special forces group. I am told that there is one Israeli that is on the assassination squad and that the plans were formalized. Again, this person provided concrete proof that they are well placed within the French government apparatus. Further to this point, this person claims that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion 13th Brigade in a multi-state involvement. Journalist Xavier Possard's life is also at risk. This is also a journalist, Xavier Possard, who sort of popularized in France the idea that Brigitte Macron is transgender, was born a man, and then transitioned into a woman, and that the first man and first lady of France are in a deeply creepy, abusive relationship. I mean, that is a matter of fact, by the way. Brigitte Macron's gender, not a matter of fact. We look forward to the very simple chromosome test that would prove one way or the other, but whatever. This is deadly serious. The head of the state of France apparently wants us both dead and has authorized professional units to carry this out. I want to ask that every person retweet this and share this. I do not know who in the American government can be trusted, since the source claims that leaders are aware in our government. I have more specific information, which is definitely verifiable, should they care to reach out to me. To the brave official in France who did this because they were so moved by the evil of Charlie's public execution to risk their own life, may God bless you truly. Let it all be revealed, says Candace Owens. 7.7 million views, 101,000 likes, 48,000 reposts, and 12,000 comments. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is massive, obviously, something that you cannot just completely disregard out of hand. I don't know where it goes from here. We pray for Candace. We know Candace. We don't want anything bad to happen to anyone, period. But most importantly, people who are out here, who are in the arena, right? Who are fighting and who have their God-given right to speech and free association and free thought. And so we hold no bitterness towards anyone. We want Candace to be safe. Again, this is something that has affected us pretty profoundly, as we have had multiple death threats against our lives that have led to federal indictments and current prosecutions. And so let's go ahead and read some of the comments here. Exactly 1 year before they murdered Charlie, they tried to murder me. Americans are being assassinated on American soil, and agencies within our government are aware we have lost this country. You should hold a press conference. A lot of people, I mean, this is LOL, you're so cooked. I mean, this is like, that's not helpful, obviously. Candace, do
please do whatever you need to do. Stay safe, Candace. None of this happened. They can't kill us all.
Great cocktail. Perfect. Oh, let's go mingle.
See this property on Craigslist for $4,300 a month? Well, it's been sitting empty for the last 28 days.
I don't know, man. When Tucker Carlson was asking all the right or wrong questions about Ukraine, Russia TV said that Tucker's got to be careful because he's going to get murdered. And this is just something that happens, when people become too
How many heard about this one?
For a nation state. Again, I'm not going to sit here and make fun of it. I won't. So what happens next? And I guess I'm not exactly sure. Candace Owens, obviously, is somebody who has some theories, right? About what happened to Charlie. As you all know on this channel, I'm going to await the trial. I have said publicly that I'm not pleased with the amount of evidence that is out there with Charlie's murder. I'm not pleased with it. I understand if you have to save stuff for the trial, but I want to know where Lance Twiggs is. I want to know why was he able to get away with destroying evidence, covering up the murder? Can you please can we please get more footage of what was going on that day? I want all the available evidence is what I want. I'm just not satisfied with the evidence that I've given. And now the judge is trying to stop cameras from being inside of the courthouse when Charlie Kirk was killed on a live stream. His trial must be on a live stream. We must be able to see Tyler Robinson's face, all of the available evidence, the entire case that the federal government is presenting. Anyway, Candace Owens revealed Charlie Kirk was asked to call her by the White House to have her stop talking about Brigitte Macron. Owens said Brigitte Macron may have ordered Charlie Kirk's assassination using the MK Ultra program. Again, I'm not here to throw any stones at anyone. Everybody's entitled by God to their right to free speech, free thought, free association. Candace Owens claims that Francis Macron is trying to kill her and assassinate her. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Certainly would not be the first time that Candace Owens has indicated that someone is trying to kill her. She has claimed these kind of things in the past. And with the size of Candace's podcast, which is one of the biggest in the entire world, and Candace's social media following, and the number of enemies that she has, none of this would surprise me at all. So what do you think, ladies and gentlemen?
Under 2 minutes.
Candace also announced that allegedly told by a high-ranking official in the French government that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion of mercenaries. I mean, at some point, Candace, is this your source by any chance? Inspector Clouseau. What do I think on all of this? I'm going to pray for my friends. That's all. I want people to be able to live safely. I want every person, no matter who they are, online, no matter what views they hold, able to say them. If they have conviction about them, that is their right, and to be able to speak freely. And the best ideas win. And the people with the most evidence, and the most logical ideas, they win. So that's what we should be aiming for here. So I pray for Candace and her safety. That's my takeaway from here. And all the safety of everyone in this profession. That's it. I hope Candace comes forward with more evidence on this. But again, I'm not going to discount it out of hand. It's your boy Ben.
Okay, another important video. I got 2 Patriot Princess, one 2-minute one and a 10-minute one.
Just filed a new petition and says the prosecution can only run from the truth so long. Derek Chauvin's attorney, Greg Joseph, said this case didn't really make sense from the start. I mean, come on, few murders take place in front of a crowd of witnesses. Officers are working with dispatchers requesting ambulance services. What if we find out that the video footage of Derek Chauvin on top of George Floyd was doctored by AI, just like Trump's speech was, just to push their narrative of racism, division, and chaos? What if we find out that Governor Walz and Mayor Frey knew about all this and they were in on the plot to make this happen? And what if we find out that the George Floyd false flag was funded by George Soros? This would change everything about the case. QPost 529. Be ready. MSM coming big way. Fake news. Hello, George. Posted on January 13th. What if the truth eventually comes out around January 13th?
Is this old 1K or not? The 10-minute one's on too. I wasn't sure if these are old. How many seen this one?
Teacher.
I got a 10-minute one. See what she says on this one.
On in the world right now might be the same thing.
I cannot and do not look at the social consequences of what I do.
In Minneapolis tonight, tensions are high as 4 police officers have been fired after a man was pinned to the ground and died.
This is a George Soros-funded anarchist effort, and we have to rid ourselves of this naive view that it's anything but. This is not about protest. It's not about inequality. It's not about any of those things. This is a George Soros-funded assault on American values.
Yeah, look, the number one problem in almost all these cities is George Soros.
I'm not sure we need to bring George Soros into this.
Well, how many remember this one?
Get the last word, Speaker.
He paid for it. I mean, why can't we discuss the fact that millions of dollars he spent?
I agree with Melissa. George Soros doesn't need to be a part of this conversation.
Okay. So it's verboten.
All right, we're gonna. Okay, we're gonna.
Well, it's obvious who signs her paycheck.
Vaughn.
I'm not no Black Lives Matter supporter. Like,
You're not?
No, absolutely.
Why not?
Because it's not our movement. This is a movement that was given to us by, George Soros and his fucking boys.
For America's future, that some participate and others don't. We have been given an extraordinary blessing. And at this moment in time, our country needs us. And we need people like George Soros, who is fearless and willing to step up when it counts. So please join me in welcoming George Soros.
Do you believe in God?
No. I will tell you that George Soros is not to be discussed. It is verboten. This is why he is so off limits, because what is being done to our country, his fingerprints are all over it.
Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists.
So those are her words coming out of her mouth. She just told you what she is, a trained Marxist.
The Marxist way.
You know, it's amazing that 1 minute the news is doing nothing but reporting how many cases of COVID-19 there are, how many people have died, and how bad it's affecting the economy and stuff like that. And then this George Floyd death happens and things suddenly switch gears to topics like racial inequality, police brutality, and violent protests. The news is a fickle bitch, isn't it? It loves to stir up trouble and promote fear and distrust among the people. And this is all in an effort to stage the entire thing and create the chaos and discord that we are now going through. Is this really true, though? Could something like this really be pulled off? The answer is a resounding yes.
Wow, look at those bricks. Perfectly set there on a pallet, right in the perfect spot for the riot.
Some random ass bricks, bro. Ain't no construction. Ain't no construction, bro. Just some random ass bricks in here.
This the setup.
They put them there on purpose,
Y'all know where we at.
They gonna set them hoes right up on the rail.
Y'all know what building this is right here. I ain't even gonna say what name it is.
Hey, where do them bricks go to? Where do them bricks go to? Where do them bricks
We gotta do better.
Ain't no
gotta do better.
Ain't no damn construction around here.
I see.
Ain't no damn construction around here. You just gonna set a pallet of bricks right there. Oh, okay.
Listen, I did jury duty 3 months ago. Y'all don't keep no bricks right there.
I have no idea. 5 minutes. I hope this one's okay. Hello.
I don't know, man. That don't look right to me. That don't look right to me. Fucking bricks at a bus stop on Ventura Boulevard? The fuck is going?
Are those fucking bricks? What the fuck are those?
Those look like bricks. What? Yeah, those are fucking bricks. What the fuck? They're collecting all of those bricks so that
When you say fuck the police, who you talking about? You can't just say fuck all the police. You don't know all police. Be specific.
Just like anything, there's good cops and bad cops. Same with what's going on now in the news. Deep state paid agents, actors.
You're talking about these motherfuckers. This is who you're talking about. This is who you're talking about.
That's why I'm doing this, you guys. What's up? I think part of that's good. Dude. Well, I'm
Looks like, yeah, you guys can see the auto going.
I just came with a hammer and smashed the window.
I'm gonna fight you right now.
You wanna go? What's up? Somebody hold my blunt. Hey, somebody hold my blunt. I'm gonna keep the door. Hey.
Are you a fucking cop? What's up?
Now look at this. Minnesota, this is all recent. Okay? Minnesota officials link arrested looters to white supremacist groups. Okay? And I want to let y'all know they're not looters. They're agents placed there. And they're not white supremacist groups. They're Freemasons. The white supremacist groups are just the fall guy. So when we get mad, we just automatically blame that shit on white people. It's not all white people. It's deep state, secret society motherfuckers.
Like I've said in my other videos, it's always about the fall guy. Saddam Hussein, Osama bin Laden, all fall guys for the deep state cabal to do their dirty work.
I don't know if all these motherfucking people in uniform is trying to bring in a new world order, but I know this nigga is. This is LA, right? Los Angeles. Look at the police directing this woman on with this is vandalism. Look, they telling this bitch with the spray. She's spraying Black Lives Matter on the wall. And the police is telling her with the spray. Look, the police is telling these bitches what to write. Look at her, she writing Black Lives Matter. That's not a black person. The police are promoting crime. It's not us. It's them. But it's not all of them. It's the specific motherfuckers who was placed in these agencies to do this.
Same with what's going on now in the news. Deep state paid agents, actors.
You're gonna take the materials of us trying to peacefully protest?
These are undercover deep state agents. See? But these niggas is yelling cops. These are not cops. These are these motherfuckers. These are these motherfuckers. And then what happens? You just say fuck the police. And now you outside fighting all of the police when it's not all of the police. It's not. It's agents.
They tell you, look at their hand signals.
This is not a black woman who's put in Black Lives Matter. They not gonna show y'all faces when they see that on their building. They gonna blame that on us. Y'all are part of the problem.
Bitch, don't give no group of black men no credit. Don't do nothing. All right? Why would you give that to them?
Because it's all a lie. It's a lie to simply make black people feel that they're less American than everybody else. Yeah, to keep black people indebted. And look at the Black Lives Matter organization. Look at all the contributions they get. Look where that money's going. It's going to Democrat presidential candidates. It's not going to black people.
They're not going to let up, and they should not. And we should not.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. Then you ain't black. Then you ain't black.
Okay, that was an interesting one. I hope that was okay. We got Trish coming up with an 8-minute video. Dang it. What am I doing wrong there?
United States of America. So Donald Trump has been aggressively working to bring down inflation.
What happened? Oh, shoot. Oh, come on. Testing. Testing, testing. Am I back? I don't know what happened there. Okay. I don't know how I moved that.
Increase affordability in the United States of America. So Donald Trump has been aggressively working to bring down inflation, but that's not enough. It's not enough because, heck, Biden drove it all the way up over 9%. I mean, we were looking at almost double digits in consumer price inflation.
It's only 8 o'clock tonight.
When Biden came to office. So now, you know, even when you're back and you're like, okay, well, this is good. We're like at 2.5% or something. The problem is you were all the way up there. So he's like, how do we encourage affordability? One of the ways, of course, is the $2,000 checks that you've heard him talk about, that you've seen him tweet about, and that you have heard, as we heard earlier from Besant, the Treasury Secretary speak about. But this is just part of a very big plan. They want to do a lot. They want to bring down interest rates. They want to make it easier for people to buy homes, for people to invest, and for people to have a little extra money to invest. Watch.
The White House wants to pivot its messaging to the economy and what it can do to reassure Americans things aren't as bleak as many people believe. As Politico points out today, the president and his team want to put a difficult start to November behind them with a blizzard of policy and PR announcements designed to help Americans with the cost of living. So what are those announcements going to be? More deals with pharmaceutical companies to bring down drug prices, efforts to address those higher mortgage rates, try to change the housing market, reducing tariffs, as you guys mentioned, on a number of products, as well as a possible $2,000 rebate check for some taxpayers.
Sure. Is he going to be sending these direct payments to Americans of $2,000 or more?
We will see. We need legislation for that. And again, President Trump is all about solutions, Maria, and everything is on the table.
Americans also struggling to afford health care. Congress knows it. Democrats demanding the government extend subsidies, which lowers Obamacare premiums. The White House thinks it has a better idea. It wants to use money to help boost Americans who rely on health savings accounts. And some lawmakers think there is a real chance for compromise.
This should be a bill that is not partisan, but it should be a bill to extend those premium tax credits because, as everybody has talked about, there is real urgency to get this done.
One of the big questions, Bill, has been what about the state of the economy? Is it strong? Is it weak? We should get a better idea later this week. We're going to get the jobs numbers. But for the month of September, they were due out in early October. But because of the shutdown, that never happened. So you have to stay tuned to Thursday to find out how September's job market was.
Yeah, so we'll see how those jobs numbers look. I mean, look, we're kind of glass half full over at 76 Research, which I encourage you to visit. I would just say that if the jobs numbers don't look good and some of the early private reports suggested they may not be as promising as you want, then that would actually give the Fed more room to cut rates, which is what Donald Trump has been pushing and pushing and pushing. Unfortunately, the Fed's always late. That's their biggest problem. They're always so freaking late, or they're so late and then they don't do enough, and then they do too much. Right. So you think about 2020, great example. I mean, they kind of were twiddling their thumbs, and then they finally moved, and then they couldn't stop moving. And then we were like all the way into a total recovery, and the Fed's still printing. I mean, you get academics who don't know their what from their elbow. That's a New Hampshire expression. And I'm telling you that you run into these crises, these economic problems that are almost self-inflicted. Here's JD Vance saying, we got to focus on housing, people. This is what young people need.
I know that there are a lot of people out there, Sean, who are saying things are expensive. And we have to remember they're expensive because we inherited this terrible inflation crisis from the Biden administration. But you've already seen signs that things are getting better. The price of eggs has gone way down. The price of energy has gone way down. The price of gasoline has gone way down. And as we know, when the price of energy goes down, that starts to filter out into the entire economy, but that also takes a little bit of time. There's another component of this, Sean, which to me is maybe the most important because I care so much about our young people being able to afford a good life. A lot of young people are saying housing is way too expensive. Why is that? Because we flooded the country with 30 million illegal immigrants who were taking houses that ought by right go to American citizens. And at the same time, we weren't building enough new houses to begin with, even for the population that we had. So what we're doing is trying to make it easier to build houses, trying to make it easier to build factories and things like that so that people have good jobs. We're also getting all of those illegal aliens out of our country, and you're already seeing it start to pay some dividends.
Okay. So affordability. When it comes to housing, when it comes to cars, when it comes to food, when it comes to gas prices, this is the focus right now. And I should add, when it comes to healthcare, this is important because, you don't want those healthcare costs going up. In fact, I want to just read a quick message from StopHealthCareHikes.com. Portions of the show that just reading show are brought to you by our friends over at Americans for a Balanced Budget. And their big fear right now is if Donald Trump gets voted, or I should say the GOP gets voted out come midterms, then guess what? You're going to be up a creek without a paddle because the Democrats are just not going to stop. I mean, clearly they're going to want to impeach him again, right? Because that's what they do. And before you know it, he'll be impeached for who knows what. They have like an impeachment-itis over there. But anyway, they are working every day that they can to block Donald Trump's agenda. And so you can only anticipate that they're going to embrace Mamdami, which means they want to raise taxes. They want to gut the border security efforts. They want to push their every left-wing policy imaginable. If you still have Chucky Boy and Hakeem Jeffries there, they're not going to rest until they've reversed everything. That is going to be their mandate. So to stop them, I'll tell you, Republicans really need to coalesce together, right? We need to be on one page. It's part of what I was saying earlier with, MTG Donald Trump's concerns, shall we say, about her, but she's been annexed temporarily.
Oh.
And it's why I should say that Americans for a Balanced Budget is really calling on Congress right now to collectively come together.
Like
you saw
change
Jean
your avatar, I
Shaheen
think.
saying we need to work aggressively to, keep some of these tax cuts in there. Well, there's a massive healthcare tax hike that's set to hammer millions of hardworking Americans with higher costs. And so what's needed is Congress is going to have to extend critical healthcare tax credits that keep premiums basically affordable, right? For working families who buy their own coverage. With open enrollment underway, you run this risk that if they get a hold of it, right, many people are going to see their premiums double, right? And that's going to be a big problem. So there's still time to act. You should go over and check this out at stophealthcarehikes.com. Stop healthcare. No, it's just stop health costs. Stop health costs. I'm adding an extra word. Hikes.com. It's important because right now, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I mean, Jean Shaheen from New Hampshire saying we don't need healthcare costs going up, right? So we don't need them going up. So do whatever you can to join this movement with me here. Americans for a Balanced Budget wants to make sure that your healthcare costs are in line. Let's not let them go crazy. And yes, let's make sure that we have some affordability, maybe lower mortgage rates. Federal Reserve, are you listening? Are you paying attention? Would help with that. But again, I think the big story and one that we're going to continue focusing on all week is that as all of these emails come forward, what we're going to most likely find, and again, I'm willing to be surprised, but we're most likely going to find that the Democrats were in way tighter with Epstein than he was, I should say, with Donald Trump. I mean, to the point where, as we began the show, and I told you about Representative Plaskett and Representative Plaskett getting texts from Epstein as she's questioning Michael Cohen, I think that sort of tips the hands in terms of what the bias was and what we saw. So that's a story that's going to continue developing here throughout the week as we get more and more information. And I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, to hit the bell with all the alerts.
Okay, that was Trisha. That was good. So the last one we'll play is that one lady, that Linda, that this one video that she put out. Everybody knows her. 8 hours ago, she has 88,000 views in 8 hours. And I think her channel has like 57 million. So this lady's we played her before. Okay. Now, where is it? I won't be able to get to those other ones. Where did I put it? God darn it. I'll put it over here on this side. Well, yeah, this will be a good one to end the show with. If I can get to it. Oh, come on.
I'm too excited.
20
That's that type of story.
Your net balance is $23,235.
Damn. $23,000 on your EBT card? Yeah. All right, everybody, buckle up because the food stamp saga has turned into a full-blown trilogy. First came the shutdown ghost town era. During the first few days of November, grocery stores had quiet aisles, stocked shelves, and store employees were able to take a lot more breaks than usual. But then closer to mid-month, when the benefits hit, suddenly every grocery store in America turned into Black Friday Pantry Edition. Shelves started running empty, shopping carts were overflowing, and the checkout lanes were getting longer and longer. And now, just to round everything out, we have people now panicking because they're convinced that they're going to have to start reapplying for food stamps now that the government has officially decided to roll out of bed and clock back in. And in today's video, we're getting to all of it. So go grab a snack because we are diving into the rise, the fall, and the meltdown of the government shutdown grocery crisis.
Holy cow, it's the first on damn Walmart. And the blood clot place damn near empty. Everybody cart normal size. They're not paying no cat, because we're paying cash. Everybody cart normal, no $1,000 buggy. And this is, what time is it now? What, 12? What time is it? 3:34 on the first. And Walmart now start the sales nicely packed. Oh my gosh. Right now, short Walmart stocks, short Kroger. Their sales are going to be down, guys. Let's get it.
So I don't know if we need one, but quick recap for anybody that doesn't know exactly what was happening with the food stamps come November 1st. In October of 2025, the United States government was in a shutdown, and for the first time ever, they also decided to hold off on distributing SNAP and EBT payments. So that meant that anyone that was used to consistently getting food stamps in order to purchase food at the beginning of the month, those payments were not going to come in for November and possibly not December either. And people were freaking out. I did an entire video all about it. I will make sure to, link it up in the iCards or down in the video description in case you missed that video. And during the first week of November, nobody was getting their food benefits distributed and grocery stores were quiet. And that's why we're seeing people post about it on social media, because lots of people found it just odd that they were going grocery shopping and there was hardly anybody in the store shopping. Such a calm shopping experience, is it not? Man, you're not having to weave your cart through a bunch of people.
Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this. Somebody come and look at this. Look.
That was something else that a lot of people were noting on TikTok as well, is how stocked grocery store shelves were. People were walking into Walmart and other grocery chains, and you would just see everything just neatly laid out on the shelves, and they were finding it extremely satisfying. Everything's just lined up. There's no empty spots. But what a lot of people also started talking about was the fact that grocery stores are probably going to be losing money because all of those shelves being fully stocked, nobody's buying it. What were sales gonna do, right?
1, 2, 3, 4. Foot pain steals moments from our lives.
No, I want to try this card. I know this card. This card is going to go
Let's
through.
fast forward just a
It's not
minute.
EBT card. It didn't go
I don't want to hear the music.
It's still the time.
I know you lying.
You might want to call your card because it ain't working. It's the time.
I called this card before I got here. I just had one on me yesterday. What you mean? What something be wrong with your screen or something?
Come on around here. There ain't nothing wrong with it. You starting,
Now this is bullshit right here.
And how awkward is that, right? Not even just because of the shutdown, but how awkward is it when someone's trying to pay with their food stamps and the card's not working? And you're just kind of like, well, you got the cash? Guessing you probably don't. but you're either gonna have to pay some way or get out of line. But some people don't like to give up that easy.
The manager, somebody, you need to get somebody over there. You need to find somebody quick. I know damn well I got money on my card. Come here, come tell her. Cause this one, somebody have to tell me something. Somebody have to tell me something. Yes, ma'am. Can I help you? She came my card and work. Swipe again for me, man. It declined. It's not working. Oh, I got money on this card. I just checked the card yesterday. Go outside and talk to Jesus about this. Okay. You want to swipe again then, man? I'm going to let you swipe until you get tired. Decline. Swipe again. You know what? Don't even worry about it. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day. And I just had money on my card the other day. Now, where the groceries is? With me, and I know money was on my card.
There is a chance that this one is a skit, but this next clip is definitely not.
Told her the EBT card declined. Come on. She flipped out on me.
Come on. Who's yelling? No one's yelling.
Told her the EBT card declined.
Yeah. Some people need to be following the news so that they don't get surprised like that. So then, nearing the middle of November, all of the clouds parted and the sun was lifted and people were granted their food benefits, which, don't get me wrong, I was very, very happy that people got their food benefits. I was very happy that most people got their food benefits. There are those people that get food stamps that, of course, we know are completely defrauding the system. They're lying on applications. They're getting more food stamps than they need, so they end up selling some and pocketing cash. We know all of this, but there are a lot of families that do rely on it to feed their children. And let's be real, the idea of children going hungry for something that's beyond their control is heartbreaking. So when people started getting their food stamps, it was a good thing. But then there's also the downside to people getting their food stamps. It turns into a lot of boasting on the internet.
Hey, is this okay or not?
Shade. I just got my food stamps. Like,
He's playing that music.
Yeah.
It turns into a lot of chaos, which we're about ready to see right now. I don't know the validity of this video, but it absolutely blew up on TikTok. People were constantly calling their EBT cards to check the balances just to wait and see when they could go shopping for food. And apparently somebody caught it on camera that someone received $23,000 loaded to their EBT card. Yeah. This video absolutely blew up. $23,000 was put on their EBT card following the reopening of the government.
For service. For English, press 1. Para español. For EBT, press 1. Enter the last 4 digits of your phone. Enter your PIN. Your stamp balance is $23,235.
Again, I cannot verify the validity of this video, but damn, $23,000 on your EBT card? Seriously? And people started rejoicing and gleefully posting videos of them on TikTok returning to the supermarket.
Your connections to the past are waiting. Get Ancestry DNA for only $29.
You've known us for a long time. Our name matters to us and to our clients. The firm behind our family is Michigan's most...
I'm too excited.
And then people started posting videos of a very dramatic difference between the start of November's aisles and after food stamps were restored.
even the damn potato chip aisle is empty, dude. Look at all the empty shelves. Y'all are ridiculous. When we tell you we don't have your item, that's what we mean, because it's empty.
And they also started posting videos of their full shopping carts, proudly showing that they were able to use their food stamps to buy food again. And the size of the shopping carts compared to what people were filming at the beginning of November was so incredibly different. I mean, you saw people with shopping carts that had, a modest amount of things in the bottom. There was maybe 10 or 20 items in their shopping cart compared to something like this after food stamps were reinstated. And not only that, but all of the shopping lanes and stores became packed as well. People started posting videos to TikTok in the middle of November showing when people finally got their food stamps. The stores just started becoming packed with people and everyone was, waiting to check out. And I mean, it's a big difference between the middle of November and the beginning of November. The beginning of November usually would look like this, and it just didn't. That's why everybody was filming it, thinking it was super weird. And again, in reference to the small, modest shopping carts that people would usually get compared to the bags upon bags of food that people were buying with their food stamps. I mean, that's a lot of food. I mean, yeah, you got 6 kids, but that's a lot of food. And so now you know why grocery stores are probably panicking a little bit that people weren't getting their food stamps. It is a stark difference between what people with cash were buying versus what people with food stamps were buying. So now to round off this entire story, we have to end with talking about people in just sheer panic that they are going to have to now reapply for their food benefits now that the government has reopened. So I'm going to let you listen to what people are kind of saying on social media, and then I'm going to actually fill you in on what is really going on.
So it's been reported that one of the reasons why, really the main reason why they're making everyone to reapply for their SNAP benefits, because there's been a lot of fraudulent activity going on, such as people are using their family members' information, especially ones that are deceased. People are not updating their information. They said the states are not reporting it back to the government, something like that. I know the list goes on, but really it's because they want to cut down a lot of fraudulent activity. But at the same time, I'm not surprised it's even happening, because this is what people have been doing for years. Now, I already know there's going to be a bunch of mess. It's going to cause the food stamp office to be overwhelmed because a lot of applications they will have to reprocess, especially there are going to be people, I know they're going to be upset about that, especially the ones that don't even deserve to be on SNAP benefits. They're actually being investigated for that. There are people actually getting more SNAP benefits than they're supposed to get. And you also got people that's supposed to be on SNAP benefit not getting enough money they're supposed to in order to feed their household. Now, I'm actually glad they're actually doing this, putting a stop to this, because there are people that's actually on food stamps, SNAP benefits, whatever you want to call it, should not even be on it as well, especially ones that's on there long period they're supposed to. Especially they need to start actually giving it to the people that deserve to actually be on it, like our senior citizens and our veterans, disability people. I'm talking about the ones that can't take care of themselves. I know a lot of people actually doing this supposedly for their kids. They're really abusing the system. But I'm actually glad they're actually putting a stop to all of that. But then again, I'm thinking to myself, this probably their way of saying they're actually using this system to cut back costs. They don't want to say budget cuts, so that could actually be another thing they're actually doing right now. But I don't know. But I'm glad they're actually doing more investigation on that for them to actually get everybody to reapply. I know a lot of people don't agree about that, but at the end of the day, everybody got their time.
So the first thing I want to say about this is I don't understand why people are freaking out about it. I really don't. There are different subsectors of people that are required to reapply maybe twice a year anyway. Some even 3 or 4 times a year. Everybody's situation is different. So I don't exactly know why people are suddenly freaking out about having to reapply for benefits now that the government shutdown has ceased. Unless those people aren't really supposed to be getting their benefits anyway. Stands to reason.
So now they're trying to make everybody reapply for their food stamps benefits. Are you kidding me? So y'all know this whole food stamp debacle. First they was not giving it, now they giving it or whatever. Then they said they wasn't giving the percentage. Now they saying they giving all of it. I don't know. It's too much damn back and forth. They playing with too many people's livelihoods, if you ask me. much. But anyway, so now they're trying to say that everybody that receives EBT food stamps benefits have to reapply, as if they don't do that already 3 or to 6 months, every 3 to 6 months. Am I correct? So why do they have to do their application? It's just prolonging the process of people getting their benefits and people getting their food for the holidays. It's like y'all buying time because y'all don't spend the money, or y'all don't have it, y'all trying to make up for it.
So that's the other side of the coin, right? People are not only irritated because they have to reapply, but it's also this idea that the government is doing this to us on purpose, right? The government's trying to punish people. They're trying to get people off in a tizzy because they need food for the holidays and all this, that, and the other thing. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I might consider myself a conspiracy theorist in some ways, but I'm not going to touch on that because these kind of topics are a bit divisive anyway, and I simply don't want to add to that right now. So let's talk about what's actually going on, right? So people did start freaking out that the Trump administration was going to start asking people to reapply just so that they could cut down on fraud and make sure that people that were getting the appropriate amount of SNAP benefits, and they weren't being overpaid, they weren't being underpaid, yada, yada, yada. Now, according to this Politico article that was published on November the 20th, it has been currently stated that the Trump administration intends to back off of the idea to force SNAP users to reapply. So this article, and I will make sure to link it down in the video description below, states the Trump administration's promise to overhaul the nation's largest food aid program will rely on existing policies rather than forcing people to reapply for benefits, according to 2 people granted anonymity to discuss the plans. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins said last week that millions of Americans would have to reapply for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program as part of an effort to root out alleged fraud. But now USDA is now clarifying that it will use current verification processes. State and local SNAP administrators will continue to recertify participants' work history, income, and other personal information as often as every 6 months to ensure that they're eligible for benefits. Rates of fraud were only previously assumed, and President Trump is doing something about it. Using standard recertification processes for households is a part of that work, a USDA spokesperson said in a statement, as well as ongoing analysis of state data, further regulatory work, and improved collaboration with states. So basically, it was the smallest muttering of making people reapply just sent TikTok in a tizzy. And I just didn't understand why everybody was freaking out about it, because you're asked to reapply anyway. You're asked to reapply anyway. Why was everybody so upset? But it has now been released, and everybody can calm down that because of the government shutdown, people will not have to reapply for SNAP benefits for that reason. They're backing off of that, and they're just going to use the current systems that they have in place to try to root out fraud. And everybody is just going to continue to reapply as they normally would have before the government shutdown. And that, my friends, was the evolution of the shutdown food stamp debacle.
So that was very important. The young lady's a popular lady there. I still got 10 minutes, I think, by the clock there. It'll be 2 hours at 8 o'clock. I got 2 short ones. I'll play 2 short ones. If I can get to it. Dang it. Guess they're not going to let me play it. I'll see you. I got another short one here. Now I'm getting Bad connection. Huh. Darn it. I don't know if I can play any more tonight. I don't know what happened. Oh. Still buffering. Oh, I'll try this. If this doesn't work, and I guess it's time to. Yeah, I got this one. You too, Kay. Thanks. Love you. See you tomorrow night.
As usual, the harder they try, the more foolish they look. Case in point, Jasmine Crockett. She went on MSNBC claiming Democrats have been far too busy working to handle the propaganda side of things. Seriously, watch.
As someone who traveled this country as it relates to the election, I think that one of the things we've not done a really good job is communicating our wins, right? So a lot of times Democrats, their goal, their job is to get in there, put their heads down and make sure that they do the work. They haven't really been going around and doing the propaganda side of things, right?
Who's going to tell Jasmine that Democrats haven't communicated their wins? Because they don't have any. There's been nothing to brag about unless MSNBC wants to start running a new weekly segment called America's Dumbest Criminals, Capitol Hill Edition. Let me show you Exhibit A. You seen this? The DOJ has charged Florida Democrat Sheila Sherfilis McCormick with stealing $5 million in FEMA money. Kash Patel writing, quote, "This individual and her family allegedly stole money from FEMA and then laundered it through friends towards her own personal benefits, including her campaign accounts. Today, the FBI and partners at the Justice Department took action." Prosecutors say she and her brother took a $5 million FEMA overpayment from their family healthcare company, moved it through multiple accounts to hide it, and poured a big chunk into her campaign and personal spending. They also accuse her of using straw donors, routing FEMA funds to friends and relatives who pretended to donate. And the DOJ says she and her tax guy even filed a false return disguising political and personal expenses as business deductions. She did all of that just to be able to do this.
I call on my colleagues from the U.S. Senate to pass the Crown Act to prohibit discrimination on the basis of hair texture, hairstyle that is commonly associated with a particular race and national origin. Lawsuits initiated by Black workers alleging discrimination against their natural hair in the workplace have filled courthouses for more than 40 years. This legislation will provide us with the freedom to wear our crowns without discrimination.
What's her defense strategy now? Bob and weave? Too soon. I'll move on. According to McCormick herself, no one is above the law. She wrote in 2023, quote, "With former President Trump having been indicted, we are reminded that no American, not even the president, is above the law." And Democrats are scrambling for anything to slow his momentum.
Okay, I'm gonna play the one lady that's funny, that 2-minute clip on it with that one. If I can get to it. Oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? I had it somewhere. Everything's buffering now. Huh. Oh, sorry I couldn't get the last one in. But we got good stuff out again tonight. Got 2 hours in. Thanks, Kay, everybody. Oh, with everybody, love all. Remember, please hit the like. Stay safe. Stay cool. And never give up. Care inside. Stay safe. Stay strong. Keep the faith. Another night of intel in the books. Till tomorrow evening, 6 o'clock, you guys, and have a good rest of your weekend. We'll see you guys all tomorrow, unless something breaks. Hey, Paul. Take it easy, everybody. Signing off, Chico and Dude.